Lately, I've become weirdly obsessed with van life videos. I'm not just casually watching them either, I've been studying them. Their tiny little kitchens, and their solar panels on the roof, and the little hidden storage compartments, and their little study desks. I'm watching van life people explain how they survive on almost no money, parked beside a beach somewhere. I used to watch mostly only finance and technology videos. AI, investing, crypto, some macroeconomics, and geopolitics. So I've watched plenty of job market doom videos and people explaining how screwed our financial system is. The usual internet anxiety starter pack, if you like. And then suddenly my entire YouTube homepage has been filling up with van conversions and people explaining how they shower in car parks. And at first I thought it was just my curiosity going down another rabbit hole about stuff I know nothing about and having some fun. And then I realised I was taking screenshots of van conversions and then drawing on them, saving the van conversions I liked the most onto a private YouTube playlist for later. Thinking about where I'd put the bed in the van, whether I'd need a shower, how much solar I'd actually need, and whether I could live without a proper kitchen or toilet. And then it got slightly disturbing. I started looking up whether people can sleep in normal cars, not vans, cars. Now I drive a 20-year-old Volkswagen Jetta, and I plan on driving it forever. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I actually searched sleeping in a Jetta, which was a pretty strange moment for me because I'm not homeless. So what exactly was I doing? I think I figured it out. I wasn't really watching van life videos or car life. I was just stress testing my survival in case shit hits the fan. I was simulating mentally how little would I actually need to survive if things go really badly from here with the fuel crisis, AI, or the economy. That's what I think is going on with a lot of these rabbit holes like van life, tiny homes, homesteading, off-grid cabins, remote land in the middle of nowhere, leaving your home country and moving abroad. I've been looking at all of these. And I never used to. But I've realised I'm not just looking to escape modern life. I'm also wondering, how trapped am I really with the choices I'm making? Living in suburbia, like most people. When you watch someone in a van with one frying pan and a tiny little drawer for their tea bags, suddenly the whole problem of being alive looks solved. That's the seductive part of van life. It's not just the travel for me. It's this contained solution. Your whole life inside something that can easily move. And everything has its place. You have all the essentials and nothing else. That really appeals to my minimalist nature. And if your actual life, or even more so, your perceived future life, feels like an increasingly expensive trap or psychologically overwhelming because of the threat of AI, etc., that all starts to look pretty attractive. Watching these videos has made me think, well, how low can I get my expenses in life? Could I survive if the economy really gets ugly from here? What do I really need? And could I leave the city if I had to? Because if you spend enough time online these days, especially watching technology or finance, eventually the internet starts psychologically attacking your sense of stability. Unless you've already made it, of course. For the rest, every day, it's AI is replacing everyone. The economy's cooked, housing's impossible, your job's obsolete, normal careers are dying, only entrepreneurs survive, most entrepreneurs fail, only the already rich will survive, retail's finished, you're behind, you're late, you're unprepared. And after a while, that starts doing something to people. Some of us start imagining living with nothing. I think van life sits right on the border between freedom and quite a precarious way of living. And that's why it's so fascinating to me. Because on the one hand, it looks incredibly free. Low bills, travel, adventure, and independence. It's some kind of attainable exit from your hectic, expensive life. But on the other hand, it can also look like the prettiest possible version of homelessness. Now, when my friend noticed that I was watching a lot of van life videos, like a crazy amount, and then I started watching car life videos, they started to be concerned. They said to me, this van life obsession of yours, Anna, started out cute, but now I'm actually worried about you. They even asked me, do you hate your life that much that you want to go live in a car? You could be manifesting poverty watching all that van life. Well, I had to stop and think what I was doing. Was I manifesting poverty? That had not occurred to me. But there is a difference between choosing a simple life and just lowering your expectations of life because the future feels hopeless. Sometimes people romanticize having less because they stopped believing they can have more. And I think a lot of people are there right now. Honestly, I think that a lot of these escape videos function almost like soft prepper content. We're asking ourselves, if things get harder, how could I adapt? And YouTube is there to help. Planning is psychologically calming to some of us. That's why these videos become addictive. They turned my future fears into logistical solutions for me. And suddenly, life feels more survivable again. I've got another exit plan. But I've also realised there's possibly danger in this stuff because some fantasies can train people. For example, luxury fantasies can make people feel permanently inadequate. But these scarcity fantasies, they can shrink people's lives too much, I think. Because I don't think the goal is to need absolutely nothing. I think the goal is to just not be trapped. There's a cheap version of freedom and an expensive version of freedom. The cheap version is sleeping in your car. The expensive version is a luxury super yacht. A tiny home can be freedom. It can also be housing compromise. But the type of home itself is not the point. Tiny home, van, car, super yacht. We need to be asking, do we actually have options? That's the real question. And that's actually a sovereignty question. Maybe it's the simplest version of sovereignty. Which, weirdly, brings me back to the same thing I talk about on this channel all the time. Self-sovereignty. More control of the things your life depends on and the things that matter most to you. Fewer traps, more options. Now, do you see why I'm talking about van life on this channel? I was just trying to imagine a life with fewer traps and more self-sovereignty. And maybe the first step is thinking more carefully about what actually matters. That's why these escape fantasies are exploding on YouTube. We're trying to solve for freedom because we feel so trapped by the rising cost of living. And many people are just tired of feeling financially trapped and they're psychologically exhausted. Normal life keeps getting harder while the internet keeps telling you you better make it soon or you're never going to make it with the robots coming. That message has really reached a peak this year. So I don't think I was manifesting poverty, but I was studying for exit ideas. Tiny little wood-panelled exits with questionable toilet arrangements, but exits nonetheless. And maybe that's the useful part of these fantasies. They can show you what you're craving. Lower costs, more breathing room, more nature, more adventure and flexibility. Fewer expensive systems with a claim on your life. And that's worth paying attention to. Because being a doomer about AI and literally giving up is not a winning strategy. But reducing unnecessary traps probably is. Building options for your life probably is. Working out what really matters to you if the world gets harder probably is. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I found contemplating van life helped me realize what I truly need in life. And if you're curious what that is, more nature. A freestanding house with land that I can do something on. And my neighbours far enough away from me, they can't hear my private conversations in the garden. But I could do a bit of van life before I get there. I'm curious if you've had your own version of this van life escape fantasy. And what did you decide freedom looks like for you? Let me know down below. I'm really curious. And if this resonated with you, do me a sweet thing, like the video and consider subscribing. Watch this video next, because it's where I ask whether crypto still has a role in building real ownership, real options, and a more sovereign life. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.